Musical moods. Page 15. Exercise C. Sound bites. Read and listen to a conversation between two friends comparing musical tastes.
Wow, you've got quite a CD collection.
I guess so. Let's put something on.
Got any jazz?
How about some Gato Barbieri? I've got Phoenix.
Actually, his saxophone playing kinda gets on my nerves on that one.
Really? I'm totally into him. Phoenix is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, but it's pretty hard to dance to.
Well, have you heard some of his later stuff?
No, what's it like?
It's got more of a Latin feel. It'll definitely get the party started.
Oh yeah? Let's give it a listen.
Exercise A. Conversation snapshot. Read and listen. Notice the conversation strategies.
So what have you been listening to lately?
Mostly world music. Ever heard of Youssou N'Dour?
I think so. He's from Senegal, right?
That's right.
You know, I've actually never heard his music. What's he like?
Well, he's got a terrific voice and a unique sound. I'd be happy to lend you a CD if you'd like.
All right, thanks. I'll let you know what I think.
Page 16. Rhythm and intonation practice. Listen again to the conversation. Repeat in the pauses.
So what have you been listening to lately?
Mostly world music. Ever heard of Youssou N'Dour?
I think so. He's from Senegal, right?
That's right.
You know, I've actually never heard his music. What's he like?
Well, he's got a terrific voice and a unique sound. I'd be happy to lend you a CD if you'd like.
All right, thanks. I'll let you know what I think.
Page 16. Exercise B. Vocabulary. Elements of music. Read and listen.
Beat,
Lyrics.
melody,
Sound.
voice.
Now listen again and repeat in the pauses.
Beat,
Lyrics.
melody,
Sound.
voice.
Page Exercise C. Listening. Listen to activate vocabulary. Listen to the pieces of music. With a partner, use the words from the vocabulary to discuss what you like or don't like about the music. Song 1.
Day after day, all my thoughts drift away before they've begun. I sit in my room in the darkness and gloom, just waiting for someone to take me to a tourist town with parties in the street and people dancing to a joyful sound. It's a song that people sing, it's the laughter that you bring on an endless holiday. It's the happiness inside, it's a roller coaster ride on an endless holiday.
Song 2.
Thank you for helping me to survive. I'm really lucky to be alive. When I was caught in a freezing snowstorm, you taught me how to stay warm. When I was running from a landslide with no place to hide, you protected me from injury. Even the world's biggest tsunami has got nothing on me, because you can go faster. You keep me safe from disaster. You're like some kind of hero. You're the best friend that I know. Thank you for helping me to survive. I'm really lucky to be alive.
Song 3.
You've got your digi-camera with a power shot, 4 megapixels and a memory slot. You've got your email and your internet. You send me pictures of your digi-pet. I got the digi-dog and the digi-cat, the digi-this and the digi-that. I hate to be the one to break the news, but you're giving me the digi-blues. And you don't know the way I really feel. Why'd you have to go and reinvent the wheel?
Song 4.
Wherever you go, there are things you should know. So be aware of the customs and views, all the do's and taboos of people there. You were just a stranger in a sea of new faces. Now we're making small talk on a first name basis. It's a great day for love, isn't it? Aren't you the one I was hoping to find? It's a great day for love, isn't it? By the time you said hello, I had already made up my mind.
Page Exercise A. Grammar Snapshot. Read and listen to the commentaries. Notice the noun clauses.
Frankly, I can't imagine what my life would be like without music. It's what gets me through the day. Listening to music is how I get going in the morning. Later at work, it's how I stay productive. And in the evening, it's what helps me unwind.
It's my opinion that music is a kind of international language, a way for people to communicate with whomever they meet. The fact that enjoyment of music is universal makes it an ideal way to bring cultures together. Music can open doors for you everywhere you go in the world.
I'm a performer and music is a part of who I am. It's a way for me to express what's in my heart. The truth is, whether or not I perform is not really a choice. I have to do it. Whatever happens during the day, good or bad, comes out in my music.
Page 20. Exercise A. Vocabulary. Describing creative personalities. Read and listen. Positive qualities.
Gifted, energetic, imaginative, passionate.
Negative qualities.
Eccentric, difficult, moody, egotistical.
Now listen again and repeat in the pauses.
Gifted. Energetic. Imaginative. Passionate.
Eccentric. Difficult. Difficult. Moody. Egotistical.
Page 20. I see. Reading. Read and listen to the short biography.
Ludwig van Beethoven, A Passion for Music. Born in 1770 in Bonn, Germany, Ludwig van Beethoven started playing the piano before he was 4 years old. By the time he was 12, this child prodigy had already composed his first piece of music. When Beethoven was just 16, he went to study in Vienna, Austria, then the center of European cultural life, and home to the most brilliant and passionate musicians and composers of the period. Beethoven proved to be a gifted pianist and an imaginative composer. Beethoven is remembered for his great genius, but also for his strong and difficult personality. In one infamous incident, Beethoven became so upset with a waiter that he emptied a plate of food over the man's head. Despite this type of behavior, many in musical and aristocratic circles admired Beethoven, and music lovers were always Beethoven's greatest supporters. This fact did not prevent him from losing his temper with one or another of them. However, because of his talent, Beethoven's friends always excused his insults and moody temperament. Beethoven was also notorious for his eccentric behavior. He often walked through the streets of Vienna muttering to himself and stamping his feet. He completely neglected his personal appearance. His clothes would get so dirty that his friends would come and take them away during the night. When they replaced the old clothes with new ones, Beethoven never noticed the difference. Although Beethoven was respected and admired by his audience, he was not concerned with pleasing them. Beethoven could play the piano so beautifully that some listeners cried. However, when he saw his fans crying, Beethoven only laughed and said they were fools. He was so egotistical that if people talked while he was performing, he would stop and walk away. Beethoven wrote two famous works, Moonlight Sonata and Für Elise, for two different women he loved. He was almost always in love, often with a woman who was already married or engaged. Although Beethoven asked several women to marry him, they all rejected him. But the most tragic aspect of Beethoven's life was his gradual loss of hearing, beginning in his late 20s until he was completely deaf. However, even as his hearing grew worse, Beethoven continued to be energetic and productive. His creative activity remained intense, and audiences loved his music. In 1826, Beethoven held his last public performance of his famous Ninth Symphony. By this time, the maestro was completely deaf. When he was turned around so he could see the roaring applause that he could not hear, Beethoven began to cry. Beethoven died in Vienna in 1827 at age 57. 1 out of 10 people who lived in Vienna came to his funeral.
Page 20. Exercise A. Listening. Listen for main ideas. Read the questions. Then listen to part 1 of a talk about an unusual use of music.
Welcome to tonight's talk. We have with us tonight Dr. Bettina Schmidt from the Schubert Institute. Dr. Schmidt is going to tell us about, well, an unusual use of music. Dr. Schmidt, welcome. Why don't you tell us what you do?
Good evening, Andre. Well, I'm a music therapist. I've been doing that for, I'd say, about 12 years now.
And just what does a music therapist do?
Essentially, we try to help people with their problems by using music.
And who exactly would benefit from music therapy?
We work with all sorts of people. Children, teenagers, adults. These are people who have a wide range of problems. Sometimes physical, sometimes emotional.
And how does music help?
Well, often just listening to music can be beneficial. So in a typical music therapy session, I'll play maybe some gentle classical music. This helps my client to relax and feel more comfortable.
That's it? Basically, it's about using music to relax people?
Not exactly. Music therapy is much more than that. Music therapists design music sessions for individuals and for groups based on their specific needs.
So, what kinds of activities do you do?
Well, we often do structured activities, like singing or listening, playing instruments, composing music, moving to music.
And this is in a doctor's office?
Not necessarily. We work in all kinds of settings. Hospitals, schools, senior centers, all around the community.
So, how exactly does music help your clients?
Well, there are 4 main benefits of music therapy: emotional, social, physical, and intellectual.
Can you give us some examples?
Of course.
Page 20. Exercise B. Listening. Listen for supporting details. Read the questions. Then listen to part 2 of the talk and answer the questions.
Let's start with the emotional benefits. People who are depressed, for example, have difficulty expressing their feelings. Music creates a safe setting where we can express the feelings inside of us.
I see.
In a typical session, I'll begin by asking my client to talk about how the music makes him feel. That opens him up. The idea is to help my client feel comfortable sharing his emotions.
And what about the other benefits?
Well, another benefit of music therapy is tied to the social context music provides. Listening to music in groups with other people builds an environment for communication, both verbal and nonverbal.
But isn't listening to music basically a solitary activity?
It can be, but it can also be a social activity involving sharing. That means that my clients can develop their social skills and will have more confidence in their ability to form relationships.
Now, you also mentioned physical benefits.
Yes. Music can be stimulating and encourage physical movement. Some of my clients are in hospitals, and many are in serious pain because of an illness or an accident. Moving around is often difficult for them. Listening to music helps them forget their pain for a little while, and at the same time, it stimulates them to move.
Okay, that's 3 benefits. Didn't you say there were 4?
That's right. The 4th benefit is intellectual. Some parents come to me because their kids aren't doing well in school. Research has shown that listening to music can help young children improve in math. Other research suggests that among university students, listening to music while studying can improve reading comprehension. We don't know exactly how music improves learning, but perhaps it helps students concentrate so they can think better. We just know that music improves our ability to learn.
Simply amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Schmidt.
Page 20. Present participles and past participles. Listen and repeat.
Amazing. Amazed.
Annoying. Annoyed.
Boring. Bored.
Depressing. Depressed.
Disappointing. Disappointed.
Entertaining. Entertained.
Exciting. Excited.
Interesting. Interested.
Pleasing. Pleased.
Relaxing. Relaxed.
Soothing. Soothed.
Stimulating. Stimulated.
Touching. Touched.
Page Exercise A. Listening. Listen to the conversations about musical preferences. Determine if each person likes the artist or group. Check the appropriate box or boxes. Conversation 1.
So what have you been listening to?
Well, lately I've been listening to a lot of opera.
Really? I can't get into opera. It's too intense.
What about Andrea Bocelli? He's got more of a pop sound. I think he's an amazing singer.
You know, I'm not really into him either. He's just too loud and overpowering for me.
Conversation 2.
Have you heard this Gato Barbieri piece before?
No, I haven't. Let's give it a listen. Wow, I love the arrangement.
Yeah, me too. He's a great composer.
You can say that again.
Conversation 3.
What do you think of Ladysmith Black Mambazo?
I don't think I've heard of her.
It's not a her, it's a group. They're a vocal group from South Africa.
Well, I'm not very big on world music.
Well, you should definitely check these guys out. They sing a cappella, without any musical instruments. They're one of a kind.
I don't know. I'm just not into that kind of music.
Conversation 4.
Wasn't that a great party last night?
Yeah, it was really cool, especially that fantastic dance music.
Yeah, Beyoncé's music is fabulous. I could have danced to it all night.
Well, actually, you almost did.
Yeah, well, once I started dancing, I couldn't stop.
Conversation 5.
I can't believe you like Antonio Carlos Jobim so much. Isn't he kind of old-fashioned?
Are you kidding? I think his songs are just as beautiful now as they were 40 years ago.
Well, many of his songs do have beautiful words.
Absolutely. There aren't many people who can put words to music like Jobim can. I never get tired of listening to his songs.
Now listen again and write what the person likes. Voice, melody, lyrics, beat, or sound. Conversation 1.
So what have you been listening to?
Well, lately I've been listening to a lot of opera.
Really? I can't get into opera. It's too intense.
What about Andrea Bocelli? He's got more of a pop sound. I think he's an amazing singer.
You know, I'm not really into him either. He's just too loud and overpowering for me.
Conversation 2.
Have you heard this Gato Barbieri piece before?
No, I haven't. Let's give it a listen. Wow, I love the arrangement.
Yeah, me too. He's a great composer.
You can say that again.
Conversation 3.
What do you think of Ladysmith Black Mambazo?
I don't think I've heard of her.
It's not a her, it's a group. They're a vocal group from South Africa.
Well, I'm not very big on world music.
Well, you should definitely check these guys out. They sing a cappella, without any musical instruments. They're one of a kind.
I don't know. I'm just not into that kind of music.
Conversation 4.
Wasn't that a great party last night?
Yeah, it was really cool, especially that fantastic dance music.
Yeah, Beyoncé's music is fabulous. I could have danced to it all night.
Well, actually, you almost did.
Yeah, well, once I started dancing, I couldn't stop.
Conversation 5.
I can't believe you like Antonio Carlos Jobim so much. Isn't he kind of old-fashioned?
Are you kidding? I think his songs are just as beautiful now as they were 40 years ago.
Well, many of his songs do have beautiful words.
Absolutely. There aren't many people who can put words to music like Jobim can. I never get tired of listening to his songs.
End of Unit 2.